The rise of intellectual third spaces. I know I'm gonna eat this one up. That is so freaking cool. Pastel-y eyeshadows, lace tops, lace skirts, quiet statements. The way that I see this showing up in a chic girl's life is think like heirloom pieces, everything is gonna be romantic, and that feels very chic to me. Hi, welcome to my video. This is Nothing to Wear, and I talk all things fashion. I'm someone who absolutely loves Pinterest, and I know that my fellow fashion people out there are also as equally obsessed with Pinterest. So every single year when Pinterest puts out a trend report, I nosedive into that thing to try and see what's up and coming over the next year or so. If you're unfamiliar with Pinterest trend predictions, basically what it is a data-driven, forward-looking report on emerging consumer trends, fashion trends, home, activities, hobbies, etc. I think the report is fun to dissect in general, but for this video, what I wanted to do is give you guys a breakdown of the 2026 trends while inspiring you guys with a like chic girl style guide to approaching these trends, because I mean it's one thing to want to do every single trend that's coming down the pipeline. That's really overwhelming and honestly not super feasible. So I thought it would be fun to kind of look at these trends with a chic girl lens and give you guys like real practical ways to implement what's going to be cool in 2026 in a very chic way. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so there's a lot of different fashion trends that Pinterest is predicting for 2026, but the first one that I want to kind of hone in on, I'm going to be calling in this chic girl style guide, quiet statements. A little bit more of an oxymoron because how can a statement be quiet? Let me explain. So one of the things that Pinterest is predicting to be really popular is like brooches? How do you say that word? Brooch fashion? Think like heirloom pieces, jewelry that's a little bit more on like the maximalist side of the scale, because we've seen a ton of like clean girl engagement rings and very classical jewelry. And the way that I think a chic person will interpret this trend and apply it to their life is through things like, let's say you have like one gold cup and it's like huge and chunky and cool and you just wear it over and over and over again. I think that is what I mean by intentional maximalism. Like you have these really cool statement pieces that when you hear the word statement, you kind of think, oh, I'll like throw this in every once in a while to make something feel a little bit special. But when you then put that really cool gaudy piece into your daily rotation, that really just turns into a piece of you, something that people look at and go, oh yeah, like that's so you, that look is incredibly you, I love that cuff that you wear every single day. Okay, moving on to the next one. I like to call this part of the style guide romantic textures. So lace is going to be incredibly popular both in beauty and fashion for 2026. So yes, obviously like lace tops, lace skirts, but I think something really, really cool is also leaning into lace through accessories, whether it's like lace cuffs, lace statement accessories in your hair, or even there's this one picture that has lived in my brain rent free. I was on Pinterest and I saw someone carrying a Birkin in a picture and they had this like overlay, and then the trim of that little cape is lace. That is so freaking cool and beautiful and chic. And I think it's in those little moments where a chic girl will really stand out. It's incorporating these beautiful romantic textures in aspects of their lives where you don't traditionally find those textures. Okay, next category is more like hobbies. Like I mentioned, the 2026 trend report includes things that will be trending in like the activities, hobbies, travel department of life. So I wanted to take a moment to talk about how this will show up in a chic girl's life. One of the things that I see as a common thread throughout the report is an increased appetite for like physical media, physical products. I think after a lot of digital fatigue and sickness that people are experiencing, they're ready to kind of like unplug and live an analog life. The way that I see this showing up in a chic girl's life is through things like personalization. personalizing your purses, pens, and journals has always been a very chic girl thing to do. And that'll be even more true in 2026, whether it's like custom stationery, engraved jewelry. And I think it's very cool for there to be a ton of intention around making sure that your physical items feel very you. I also think this is a really fun opportunity to engage with physical fashion mood boards. I was reading Vogue December the other day, and there was a whole article on Mathieu Blasi's like creative vision behind Chanel and his debut, and it was really, really cool. But one thing that really stuck with me is how he creates the ideas behind his fashion lines. And it's that he kind of just collects a physical binder of his inspiration. So he's physically mood boarding what he wants the next line to look like. And how cool would that be to continue refining your style with an actual physical mood board of what you want to wear? I think that's incredible. Or maybe it's not even what you want to wear, but just what you want life to feel like, just like a physical curation of you, really. And that feels very chic to me. Next one is a little bit more, it's still fashion, but again, also beauty. I feel like every single year there's a really, really popular color. Like in 2025, everyone and their mother was obsessed with butter yellow. I can get behind the next trending color, which is a cool blue. Think kind of like pastel-y, kind of glacier-like. I can see a chic girl eating this color up because I think for a while, you know, like plums and darker colors really dominated in like the chic girl space. I think it's time for a change. Like, let's go back to pastels. Maybe it's the fact that we're like past Thanksgiving and winter, but I'm ready. I'm ready for lighter colors. Cool blue will be absolutely everywhere in 2026. I see this being particularly popular for a chic person in makeup, like pastel-y eyeshadows, maybe pastel-y liners. I know I'm gonna eat this one up in 2026. The very last category that I have for you guys is again kind of more like activity, hobby based, but I'm calling it learning and creating. Pinterest does hone in on different aesthetics that are going to be popular in the new year. And one that they highlighted is poet core. It sounds very dark academia to me. In the fashion space, this just means like people really leaning into very tailored looks. So think very structured blazers and houndstooths and turtlenecks, really anything that exudes the poet life, the poet aesthetic. But I think honestly, for a chic person, it's bigger than that. It's bigger than just like these trendy little aesthetic niches. How I see this showing up in a chic person's life is the rise of intellectual third spaces. Everyone's gonna have a book club. Everyone's gonna be in a writing club, or people are gonna be taking art classes. Again, very similarly to people wanting to unplug and kind of take a break from the internet. I see the luxury and the very chic thing to do is to then invest your time in ways that make you smarter, a better person, a more well-rounded person. And so I can definitely see how a lot of very chic people in 2026 will start new hobbies or classes at their local library or their local, you know, whatever, community college, to invest some time in growing their brain and growing the knowledge and turning this into a space to meet other really chic and cool people. So if you're not already in a book club, what are you doing? I have a book club that you are more than welcome to join. It's called Left on Red. I feel like I talk about it in every single video, but if you're looking for an intellectual third space, I have the perfect one for you. For myself, I'm very, 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 very curious about local writing courses. I have said this a lot in the last few months because I genuinely do want it to be a reality. I want to be more of a writer in 2026 and take Substack a little bit more seriously and just grow that area of my life that I haven't really touched in a long time. So it's scary, but that's what that will look like for me. And then to kind of just round things back out, activities wise, yes, that's how I think poet core is going to be influencing like chic girl activities. On the style side, as well as tailored suits, there's definitely going to be a revival or just like a lot of interest in like the gothic romantic aesthetic as well. I mean, I made a whole video about it like a couple months ago that really hit this one on the nose. Everything is going to be romantic and gaudy and maximalist. And I think that's going to be so, so fun because I think we've been stuck in this clean girl wheel cycle for a really long time. And I think that's cool, right? I am very minimalist in my makeup and I don't do a lot of crazy things with my fashion. And I think it's time. I think it's going to be really, really fun to explore that in 2026 and lean into the more fun side of our wardrobes. So that is my chic girl style guide for 2026. I'll be linking the full 2026 trend report down below if you're curious. Again, it's a really fun read. And my book club is also down below. And I think that's it, guys. All right, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.